A very good morning to all of you. Today we will study about the food spoilage. So now when we are dealing with the food spoilage, first of all we have to know what is a food. So all of you just know that food is a basic commodity of our life. With the food we get energy to do our work. So the basic things which are present in our food, they are known as nutrients. So when we are dealing with the nutrients, there are different kind of nutrients. The first one, it is a carbohydrate, then it is protein, then it is fat, and then it is vitamins. So all the different things, carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamins and minerals, all these things we get from different sources. All the things they can be provided from the plant source as well as from the animal source. So when we are dealing with this food, now the thing is come, when this particular food which is providing us energy, which give us energy to do our work, to carry on our life, to show growth parameters. So this particular food, what are the different factors at which this particular food gets spoiled? So when we are dealing with the food spoilage, the main thing which comes in our mind that the food stuff which is not fit for consumption, at that time that particular food, it is known as spoiled category. So when we are to define what is a food spoilage, at that time we have to take care of three things. First one, is there any change, any texture change in the food stuff, or is there any change in the smell of the food, or is there any change in the visual parameter of the food stuff? So there are three basic parameters. First one, it is the texture. Second one, it is the smell, and third one, it is the visual appearance of the food. If the three things they get changed in a food, at that time we consider that this particular food is now in a spoiled category. Or in other words, you can say that when the process, when the food get deteriorated, it is being changed, its physical structure is changed, it is having some bad smell in it, its texture is changed. Now these three factors, they are combined together and the word is given spoilage. So when the food get deteriorated and it is unfit for consumption, at that time this particular food stuff, it is known as food spoilage. Now when we are dealing with this particular food spoilage, these are the different parameters which we will see in a food stuff. First one, this is the texture change, means the outer growth of a bacteria take place on this particular food stuff. Now this is the internal change. When we cut the food stuff, at that time we can see there are different growth patterns which are visible in the food stuff, and this is the visual appearance of the food. So when all these food stuff, they are get spoiled up, at that time these are the different factors which we come to know. Now comes the thing, what are the different parameters which are responsible for the food spoilage? So when we are dealing with the food spoilage, it may be due to an insect, it may be due to a physical injury, it may be due to a food enzymatic degradation, and it may be due to a microbial injury. So when we are dealing with these particular things, so these are the different parameters. It is a physical injury, it is a insect due to the incubation of insect in the particular food stuff. This is the textural change of the particular food stuff. These are the microbial changes in a food stuff. So these are the different factors, these are the different ways by which our food gets spoiled out. Now comes the thing, what are the changes which take place when our food gets spoiled? So when we are dealing with the food spoilage parameter, at that time the main things which comes are, first one, it is a physical spoilage. Physical spoilage means the outer structure of the food, it gets damaged. So it may be in the terms of moisture loss. Most of the parameters when we are dealing with the physical changes, it means the outer structure of the food stuff, it gets changed. Then comes the chemical spoilage. Chemical spoilage means the coloration of that particular food stuff gets changed. It may be in the form of the oxidation of fat, it may be in browning of the fruit or the vegetable. All of you know that when we put the banana for 1 week or 2 weeks, at that time that banana coloration, the normal yellow coloration of the banana, it gets changed into a brownish one. So that particular change is known as a chemical change or as chemical spoilage. Now comes the microbial spoilage. All of us can easily see the growth of a microorganism. As microorganisms, they are not visible with our naked eye, but their growth is visible with our naked eye. So the growth of microorganism and the enzymatic production, all these things, they can be seen in a particular food stuff. So these are the different physical spoilage, means this is the loss of moisture. Now this is the chemical spoilage, as the coloration of the banana has been changed, and this is the microbial spoilage. All of you can easily see the growth of a fungus on it. You can see the bread molds, you can see the different growth parameters which are visible on the particular food stuff. So these are the physical changes, chemical changes and the microbial changes which take place in a particular food stuff. Now when we are dealing with these chemical brown coloration of a banana, you can say. So at that time, the main thing which is coming in our mind that what are the different changes, what are the chemical changes which are taking place inside the food stuff. So when we are dealing with the chemical change, the first thing which is happening in the food is that degradation of carbohydrate. The carbohydrate content in the food stuff, it gets changed. Then comes the degradation of nitrogen compound, then comes the degradation of lipids, and then comes the peptide hydrolysis. Peptide means this is the component which is present in all the raw vegetable and fruits. So peptide get hydrolyzed, all the vegetable and fruit they get deteriorated. In the same manner, lipids they get deteriorated. In the same manner, nitrogen compound and carbohydrate. Due to these changes, due to the degradation of these components, the food stuff gets spoiled, and these changes they are come under a category which is known as chemical spoilage. Now comes the microbial spoilage. When we are dealing with the microbial spoilage, means the food stuff is having a growth of microorganism on its surface area. So the main factors by which we can say that this particular food stuff it is a microbial spoilage, or this food stuff is spoiled by a microorganism. Then we can see a visible growth in the food stuff, we can see gas production in the food stuff, there is slime formation, and there is off flavors. So when we are dealing with this particular food stuff, means the microbial spoilage of the food stuff, at that time this is the particular thing, means micro they are minute, but we can see this one. This is the slime layer formation. The organism which grow on a particular food stuff, they will show its growth like this one. So this is a slime formation, and in the same manner, this is the gas production, means the milk. If the microorganism has growth in that particular milk bottle, then it will show gas formation, and this is the visible growth which is present on the particular food stuff. So all these categories they comes under the microbial spoilage of the food. In the same manner, when we are dealing with this particular food stuff, now comes what is the sequence of events that take place inside during the spoilage of the food. So when we are dealing with the sequence of the food spoilage, at that time the first thing is that microorganisms have to get inside the food. Then comes the food environment should favor the growth of the microorganism. And the third one, the food stuff should be under the optimal growth condition for the microorganism. Means the food stuff it should be having such an environment that the growth of a microorganism it will be enhanced. Means the organism it will get all the favorable condition of temperature as well as pH for its growth. And in the same manner, then when it get a favorable condition, then the number of the organism will grow, and then it enzyme will act inside that particular food stuff. So due to these parameters, these are the basic sequence by which the organism, the food stuff gets spoiled out. Now what are the common causes of a food spoilage? So when we are dealing with the common causes of food spoilage, at that time the first one it is the inadequate storage temperature. Means the temperature at which the growth of a microorganism it seizes out, it stops. If we are not providing that particular temperature at which the organism growth has been resisted, at that time the food gets spoiled out. In the same manner, the second one is prolonged storage of time. If the food stuff is stored for a long period of time, at that time also a number of organisms they get start multiplying inside the food stuff. In the same manner, improper ventilation, cross contamination, and excessive delay between receiving and storing. So these are the basic causes which are responsible for the food spoilage. So these three are the basic signs which help us to find out whether the food it is fit for consumption or it is a spoiled one. So first one it is a souring. Souring means the production of acid in a particular food stuff, and souring it mainly take place in the dairy products. In the same manner, second one it is a gas formation. Gas formation it is a basic sign of spoilage in a meat product, you can say. And third one it is the color change. Color change is visible in almost all the foods, whether it is an animal product, whether it is an animal product, or whether it is a plant product. In all the things, visible growth is visible in that particular food stuff. Now comes the classification. Main thing about food spoilage is classification of food on the basis of its spoilage. So when we are dealing with this food spoilage, the food spoiled category, on the basis of spoilage, the food can be categorized into three basic categories, three basic parameters. First one, they are staple food or non-perishable food. Second one, they are semi-perishable food. And third one, they are perishable food. So when we are dealing with the non-perishable food, the main thing which we should consider is that the amount of moisture, level of moisture in this particular food stuff is less. means they are having 0 to 1% of moisture in the particular food stuff. So the food commodities which comes under these